Hey noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking, and today I had the brilliant idea of trying to look for something interesting to watch on YouTube. So, how to defend from a gun. Let's see what happens. There are quite a few videos on this topic, but the first one is a very old one that I'd like to begin with. Even though it's extremely old, I'd like to begin with this one because while I was watching it, I was bewildered. 4.1 million views, so it's probably still getting views. Let's check it out. How to defend against a gun to the face. Krav Maga defense.
We are doing defense against a gun forehead height.
Height. I wonder why he's using Japanese since I mean Krav Maga isn't whatever.
Give me your money.
Poo. Poo. I wonder if saying poo is part of the technique.
Gun. You're allowed to make two assumptions.
So he's speaking to the gun right now. So gun, you're allowed to make two assumptions. So let's see what the gun can assume.
And they are not assumptions.
Hold on a minute. Maybe I misread the title. Is it like a philosophical video? It's an assumption, but it's not an assumption.
It is what's going to happen.
Right.
The minute you touched it, it'll go boom.
Yeah,
And it's a fact.
Great. First thing that makes sense that's been taught on this video so far.
It's a fact. Right after it went boom, he's going to pull his arm back or entire body back. And it's a fact as well. And if any gun defense that you have seen until now will not answer to these two obvious questions, then you should question your defense against a gun.
So let me get this straight. I'm allowed to make two assumptions that are not assumptions because they're facts, but they are also two obvious questions. And if you don't question the questions that are not questions because they're facts but not assumptions, the gun defense in question is bullshit. Okay, I got everything right.
First of all, because it will fire, number one priority is for me to get out of the line of the gun. That's first of all. Second of all, I have to keep in mind that I'm gonna have to chase him to some degree because he's gonna have to pull. I'm gonna get off the line and I'm gonna strike him and I'm gonna attack in, bringing the gun into his belly. From here, I'm gonna yank it out, throw a fresh round into chamber. One, back. One, back.
Okay, so this is complete, absolute, utter nonsense. There are three major problems I have with these kind of videos. They make it sound as if it's easy to yank the gun. There are a million things that can happen and can go wrong when you try and yank the gun from the hand of someone who is pointing the gun at you, in this case point blank. But these sort of self-defense tutorials, what they do is that they make it sound as if it's really easy, as if you just do your little move, you duck, they don't do this. I don't understand why they can't do this. And not only do they assume that you can pull off the move without the guy actually firing at you, but that you can succeed to yank the gun. What if he's stronger? What if you can't do it? What if he's not surprised? They always make it sound as if it's easy because I know the move, I know the technique. No, you don't. The second problem is that they sort of create this mindset that if someone tries to rob you and they have a gun on you, you should try and react. That is an extremely dangerous thing to teach. I'm not saying that there isn't any scenario where it actually makes sense for you to try and defend yourself, but I'm saying that definitely the scenario in which someone is trying to rob you, hence they want your money in order to protect your money, and in this case their absolutely inflated ego, you need to risk your life. No, you don't. This is what you do when someone asks for your money with a gun. This is the move. Okay, so 1, reach for your wallet. 2, offer your wallet. Money is not worth risking your life. I'm not saying that this is what you should do in 100% of cases. I'm not saying that you should never try to defend yourself. Of course, there are specific situations. They're trying to kidnap your daughter. Of course, go and save her. But I'm saying that this is specific. What does the guy say at the very beginning? Give me your money. He's after money. This is a mugging. Don't risk your life for this. This you can earn it back. Credit cards, you can block them. Disarming is not impossible, but it's an extremely difficult thing to do. The odds are against you. Now, of course, some people might say, well, but what if they want to kill me? If they wanted to shoot you, they would shoot you. They don't come to you point blank, point the gun at you and ask for money. But there is a third thing that drives me nuts about this kind of videos. It shouldn't be allowed. Because a video like this is extremely dangerous. It's teaching people that it's easy, you just need to practice your bullshit move a couple of times and boom, you are Batman now and you can protect yourself and risk your life and disarm the person and then get the gun and point it at them. So extremely dangerous, they shouldn't be allowed. I mean, YouTube frigging penalized and demonetized a channel like Zombie Go Boom, just smacking zombie heads with a sword, and yet these kind of videos that are seriously endangering people's lives, because unfortunately there will be kids, I would imagine, who are gonna watch this and they're gonna believe that they can watch a YouTube video and they can defend themselves. And it's monetized! It blew my mind when I started this video and I saw a commercial. But this isn't the only one. Check this one out. Krav Maga defense against gun from the rear. Unbelievable.
We are talking about defense for a pistol coming at you from a threat to your back from the rear.
Is this guy even alive? I doubt this guy is even alive anymore considering the things he teaches. I mean, you know the guy is serious because he makes his own sound effects. Poo, poo, pa. So, and you know it's serious because it has pa this time as well. It's not just poo, it's poo, poo, pa. One of my veins here is going to explode. It's like people who teach these kind of tutorials think the time is gonna freeze. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pretending to be like a self-defense expert or a martial art expert, but you don't need to be to understand that this is never gonna work. By the time he turns, pulls out his little move, goes underneath, touches the gun, goes offline, the other guy has already shot him 3 times. It's not like the other person is gonna let you do it. It's not like the other person is not gonna do anything because you're frigging Flash Gordon.
Slow.
Hold on a minute, that was fast? Oh my gosh. So that was the fast one. Let me see the slow one.
I hear the threat. Naturally, you're gonna turn to look right away. Once you turn to look, you gotta get out of the line of the gun. Therefore, a foot come and my body come, hand, lock his hand, bring his hand to my chest, and at the same time, there's an elbow towards his face. This hand is held to my chest and it's held tight because in the end of it, there's a firearm. There is a couple of issues here.
No, there is a million issues here, not a couple of issues. Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm not attacking self-defense as a whole. I'm not saying that practicing self-defense is a waste of time. So is this an attack at Krav Maga? Not necessarily, no. With Krav Maga specifically, what I've noticed that it really depends on the trainer. Like there is a guy in north of Italy, I watched a few of his videos and I think he's legit. Like some Krav Maga teachers are legit, others are complete con men, and others are completely deluded. Now, I don't know this guy. I don't know if this guy knows that he's teaching complete bullshit or if he actually believes he's Batman, because some of these people believe it. These situations in which they become trainers, masters, whatever they're called, and they see that there is a group of deluded people that believe in them, reinforces their own beliefs, and then they end up believing that they can pull something like this off. So I don't know if this guy knows he's scamming people or if he actually truly believes, and I think he truly believes that he can do that kind of stuff. And when they teach you to defend yourself from a gun or to defend yourself from a knife, first thing, they need to tell you the odds are against you. If it's a knife fight, you're gonna get cut. You're risking your life. The odds of you coming out, if you have no weapons, of that situation are extremely low, so only engage if there is no other way out. This is the first thing they need to do. Secondly, when they make it look extremely easy, and I'm gonna show you, check this guy, it's in Hindi, but I don't need to understand what they say to know this is bullshit. See, the little P like this, like in a movie. And look at his face. What it's telling you, look how easy my technique is. So you're learning from me. I could do this all day long. I wouldn't even break a sweat. The third problem is that during these training sessions, they don't allow the so-called offender to actually try and hit you. The guy with a gun or the guy with a knife. If they just let you do it and they don't try and shoot you with a fake pellet gun, of course, or they don't try and stab you with a rubber knife, then you never know if you're actually going to be able to pull it off. Not to mention that even in that scenario, which at least would make it a reasonable training situation in which you train muscle memory to respond to all the hundreds of variables of things that can happen during an actual fight because the other person is not going to behave. Even in that case, you don't know if you're actually going to be able to pull that off, because in the situation you might be scared, adrenaline, amygdala, there are a million things that can go wrong. But it does make sense to train if the other person is resisting. Here, no resistance. If any of these red flags are present in the place where you are learning this kind of self-defense, leave. You know, as a channel with a reasonable amount of subscribers now, I think it is my responsibility to call these people out. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was monetizing on something like that. What if someone tries to pull something like that off and they fail, as they most likely will statistically speaking, and they get shot? For what? Let's change currency. For this. And it's not even the money. I don't even think that people are actually doing it for the money, because I mean, who goes around with their entire salary in their wallet? Even if you lose $100, who cares? And even if that's a lot of money, you need to provide for your kids. What's better, to have a little bit of a rougher month, or to leave your kids without a father or a mother? And just to make it 100% clear, I know that disarming is possible. I'm not condemning people who train this the proper way. I'm just saying that these videos paint it in the same way that the movies do. I'm the protagonist, I'm the good guy, I know the little move, so I'm gonna win. And then people who are gonna try this kind of stuff are gonna be hit with the cold facts of reality. I consider you to be my friend, so take this advice. Try to avoid to put yourself in a situation where there is a high likelihood of being mugged. If it happens and it wasn't your fault, because you weren't going into a rough area, you weren't going around at night in a place where, you know, it's not very well lit, whatever. If it's not your fault and it's just happening, you were dealt a bad hand. Remember that if they're after your wallet, your life is a lot more precious than your money or your credit cards, or whatever it's in your wallet. Give them what they want and live to fight another day. But unless you are in one of these very few occasions in which you just have to defend yourself, because otherwise they're gonna kill you anyways, and they're gonna take your children, they're gonna take your loved ones. Unless it's one of these extremely rare scenarios, the best thing you can do is go away if you can, run away if you can. Of course, if they're pointing you with a gun, you can't really run away. Then report it to the police and hopefully they will arrest them. Don't risk your life just to feed your ego that you're Batman, and don't risk your life for money or the inconvenience of having to block your cards. Careful where you go and train, careful who you choose to train with, look for red flags, and number one, be smart and stay safe.